good late afternoon. It's Coral Consciously over here in the UK, and I'm interviewing Keishera James, otherwise known as Keishera, the artist, all the way over in Brooklyn. So
Hi.
it's the first time I've interviewed somebody out of the country. So this is exciting for
Hello.
me. So hello, Keishera.
Hi, Carol. So nice to be here with you.
Okay, so basically, what I have from what I've looked, at your biog and everything, you're originally from Kingston, Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right, my parents are from St. Catherine, Jamaica, or were from St. Catherine. Sadly, they passed away.
Yeah.
Are both your parents from
Well,
Jamaica?
so both my parents are from Jamaica, and I've actually lived in St. Catherine when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess the diaspora of St. Catherine / Passage Fort, when I was a kid, but I lived in Washington Garden, and then we moved to that area, and then I started going to independent school there, and then I've lived all over the world since. But yeah,
yeah.
that's my humble beginnings. Yeah.
All right, could you just, I mean, I've never been to St. Catherine, been to Jamaica, but not St. Catherine
Yeah.
itself. What is it like, or what was it like? What do you remember of it?
From what I remember, I would say so it was fun.
Mm-mm.
Growing up, I got into a lot of trouble with the neighborhood kids. My childhood growing up, I think that's what shaped me in music, because there was a lot of stage shows. There was always a lot of concerts. We were very active outside. Like I find that even living in America, a lot of people they submerge themselves around video games and the television and all of that. We didn't, we were outside playing with clay,
Oh,
clay,
yeah, yeah,
clay, and making our own, picking trees, climbing trees, and falling, and people, neighborhood dogs running after us.
oh
It was
wow,
fun,
yeah, yeah,
normal childhood in Jamaica. And then everybody know your name and your parent name. So if you're not supposed to be outside and you're outside,
mhm,
they're gonna tell you your mother is coming, and
yeah,
you run like hell to get home. It was a good time. I'm happy for that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your foundation, isn't it? Really?
That is my
Yeah.
foundation. I used to sneak out the house
Hmm.
to go to whenever I hear stage shows to try to be by the little jukebox, knowing I had no business being there because that was grown folks' business. But I loved dances because I just loved what it was, how people were connected and just sharing. And um, I loved being in school and having game day and
Mm.
having fetes and having, where we were able to perform or do something artistic.
Yeah,
I think that was very nurturing for me. I don't know if that's as prevalent here in the States. I mean, not in that way.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
just so culturally diverse. I do love Jamaica. Yeah,
yeah.
I love that.
So how long were you in St. Catherine for?
Well, well, I, I must say this, and I don't want to sound oblivious to this. I do not know if the parish of where I was living is I guess it is St. Catherine, right?
Mm.
Because when I was a kid, okay, so we lived in Washington, and then we lived in Portmore.
Mm.
Portmore is in St. Catherine, right? Because I went to Independent
That's,
City College
I
School.
think so. Somebody will probably
Yeah,
correct us if we haven't got it right.
right. So at least about like 7 years,
Okay.
or 8 years. I left when I was 12
Okay. What, you
to
left
come to the
Jamaica or?
States.
Oh,
I
right.
left Jamaica, yeah. So I
Mm.
didn't really have a choice in the matter. It was
Yeah,
up to me.
would have stayed.
I'm still being Jamaica,
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because when I came to this country, I said to my mom, when I came here I've always been traveling, right? But when I came to live here, I said, you brought me here to this concrete jungle to live.
Oh
I'm
no.
sorry about the noise outside of the truck.
Okay.
To live like cockroaches.
You didn't like it. Yeah.
No, because I don't know. It was just a jungle, concrete jungle. We
Mm.
had trees and we hung out under the trees and cooled
Mm.
out. You know, we had, even though we have trees here, it's just not the same. But I
Yeah.
mean, I am such a Brooklyn girl now,
Yeah.
but back then it was like we had yard to play
Yeah.
in, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
So it must have been hard for you though to leave your friends, your lifestyle, and then being young, 12 years old, and having to adapt
Yeah.
to a new
It
lifestyle.
it was hard, but then, you realize that this is your new normal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
There's
just,
that word again. Yeah.
yeah.
New normal.
You have definitely throughout life have to adapt to a new normal,
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So you're in the States, and you're 12 years old. What guided you towards music?
Ah, okay. So I didn't know I wanted to sing as a child. I used to do other things, and I remember being in a choir, and I was told that I wanted to sing lead in a choir, and they told me I couldn't because my
Oh,
voice was too secular.
secular. So what kind of
Secular. It was
choir was that?
it was a Seventh-day Adventist church, because I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church. Not
Uh,
knocking the church, but
I grew up in
I
church.
wanted. I'm sorry, you were saying?
No, I said I grew up in church, so I know. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Mm.
So, I'm in the choir and I'm like, can I sing? Can I get a chance to sing a lead? And they was like, your voice is too secular. And that made me so upset. I was just
Yeah.
like, how dare you?
Yeah.
What? Okay. And so basically after that I wanted to model. I'm tall, I'm 5'11".
Yeah.
So I pursued modeling and everything, but the gift of singing and songwriting and all of that stuff just kind of like developed as my life progressed.
Mm.
Because I moved out early, all these different things, and I mean, I kind of moved out at a time in my little rebellious stage.
Yeah.
Not even that I was being rebellious; it was a number of things that led me to that. But I didn't move out with certain amenities.
Yeah.
So I used to entertain myself. And while I was still in school, people used to tell me, oh, whose song is that? Well, I thought I was singing other people's songs.
Mm.
But I was just singing other people's song with not the correct words. So they would tell me to write that down,
Yeah.
Or I would be singing in the halls, in school. And people would kind of like, oh, that's nice. Just humming away, not thinking much of it.
Mm.
And I think I just kind of, my love for music came from a comforting place.
Yeah.
And it's something that kind of like soothes me. Of course, I grew stronger and stronger as the years go by, because I was very shy. I didn't want to perform.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm a late bloomer. In fact, I didn't believe that my voice was raspy and husky. So
You got a sort of bluesy voice going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think I believed in myself full-heartedly.
Hmm.
And then, of course, when you have Jamaican parents, they're not necessarily going, yes, girl, go for it.
Yeah.
They're like, you need to go to school, so forth and so on. So,
Get a job, yeah.
Get a job.
Go to college,
what about
study.
retirement?
Yeah, yeah.
Savings and 401k, which I've never really, it was never my path, because I've always been a creative person.
Yeah.
So I think certain circumstances in my life just kind of like led me to that, and then kind of led me to believing in myself, finding my own self-worth.
Yes.
And that's how the magic happened. I just
Well, I
started.
mean, I was going to say, I should let people know that you, as a teen model, you did have success. I mean, you were
a few things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was success. Well, I guess what is success, right?
Well, I mean, Essence Magazine, Heart and Soul, Iman
Runways, Iman Cosmetics,
yeah. So
I did a few things. I did some runway stuff. Yeah.
So were you ever tempted to just carry on modeling, and did you ever
No,
have that decision to no? Okay,
no, that was an
that's an
easy
emphatic
decision for
no.
me.
Okay.
That the reason, okay, so when I was younger, I wanted to model because I was tall, and I was like, oh my God, you should model. And I did it naturally. You know, I had this little cute little walk and, you know, so forth and so on. And I was skinny. My nickname when I was younger was Olive Oil.
Yeah. All
you
right.
know,
Yeah.
so imagine. All right. So I was a little scrawny cake. So I mean that kind of like came together, right? But I've always wanted to do more
Yeah.
than just being a mannequin. I used to call myself a mannequin because I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and put on these people's nice clothes and I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I have a voice. It was
Yeah.
always, I had this thing when I was younger. I used to say all the time, I want to be active on the tongues of billions. And not because of how I look, but because of what I had to offer,
Right.
what I had to impart upon the world. So that has always been a dream of mine, you know, to just maybe say something, whether it is in my music or the story that I'm telling, that could resonate with someone in such a positive way that that it kind of, you know, make them think and change their outlook on things, or inspire, motivate them to realize that they're on their path. You know what I mean? And it's okay to be strong in your convictions
Yes.
and strong in your desires and not be afraid of who you are, because we're all so different.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that because we're different doesn't mean that one is better than the other.
Exactly. I think we all have something to give. I mean, if you really think about it, if we were supposed to be the same, then I think we would all look alike.
Yes.
And all our little differences, that's what makes us so unique and so special. I mean, imagine if you had a whole bunch of people walking around the street looking like you, acting like you, behaving like you, doing every single thing that you do, then what would make you unique? What would make you feel special? What, you know, you would be just robots.
Yeah.
And I don't think a life filled with just robots behaving and acting the same way would then not really give people purpose. You know, you want to have something to aspire to. And I think in the development of things and our awareness in life, we all have something unique that's valuable to impart upon the world.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the world go around, right? These beautiful things that makes you go, oh, wow, I want to do something like that. But what can I do? What can I do that sets me apart? You know? Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that. I agree with that. Yeah. So what would you describe was your first big break? Or, you know, that's, you said, right, this is it. I'm going to be an artist.
Okay. So, I've always been working on music and doing certain things. And I went to Jamaica after being away from Jamaica for 15 years.
Okay.
I went to Jamaica, late bloomer, man. I went to Jamaica. At the time, my friend was working with VP Records. And she said, why don't you come to Jamaica? Can you have a place to stay, whatever? Because, I mean, my mom was already here. I didn't know a great chunk of my family because, you know, circumstances, everybody grew apart and it wasn't this camaraderie. That happened afterwards. I kind of like reconnected. Me going back to Jamaica was like reconnecting with family and like all this different stuff. So she was like, come. And within 3 days, mind you, I've always been recording here.
Yeah.
Doing little stuff, but you know.
So, okay, so from modeling, you decided that you're going to pursue your career. So what would you describe was your big break?
I think it was when two things led to that. Before I went to Jamaica, like I said, I was working in this office and someone said, I want to send your music to Ahmed Erdogan. And at the time, Ahmed Erdogan was the president of Atlantic Records.
Okay.
And while everyone was telling me to get rid of my accent, because I still have a little Jamaican in my accent. He was the one that was telling me, he was like, no, your tone, your texture, there's something about it.
That's right.
You should definitely keep that. And he was like, I want to work with you. And I'd already had plans of going to Jamaica. So he said, when you come back from Jamaica, I want to put you with so and so and so. And he was on his way to Paris. I went to Jamaica. While I was in Jamaica, my friend that works at VP Records was, she was like, stay with me, blah, blah, blah. She introduced me to a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there, I got there on the Monday or the Sunday. By that weekend, I was in the studio. And by the next Wednesday, my song, So Good, was on the radio. I did something with Mr. G, Goofy, that they called him back in the day, on the Soul Food Rhythm. And I was like, it's on the radio, and everybody was like, so good, so good, so good. Finally found a man that can make me sweat. It was on the guitar rhythm. And everyone was wanting to interview me, and I was just like, it was that quick. It was like, okay, cool.
What genre was that? Was that reggae?
It was reggae.
Okay.
Definitely reggae. Okay. So then that happened. And then I met Christopher Birch. I came back to the States, and then I went back. Christopher Birch was like, I want to do something with you. Mm-hmm. And Steely and Clevie at the time, Steely wanted to work with me. So I was working with some other people, and he went and took me. He was like, you're my artist. So, I mean, I did watch, a bunch of people come up, but then of course he died later. Right in the midst of us trying to figure out our stuff. So with working with Christopher Birch, then he put out the Crybaby Rhythm.
Right.
And before that, I did something in the same studio at Big Yard with Shane Brown. And then there was the Climax Rhythm. And then my friend called me and was like, oh, I love the song with Shaggy. I was like, I don't have a song with Shaggy. What are you talking about? Because I remember Shaggy came in the studio while I was recording.
Yeah.
I was working with Birch, and he came and sat in my session, and he said, Shaggy's voice, are you?
Yeah.
Your voice so unique, you just need a bus. Once people hear your voice, they're going to know who you are.
That's right.
And I didn't really think of anything. Like, I was like, oh, wow, that's a great compliment coming from Shaggy.
Yeah.
And, I carried along about my business. And of course, at the time, Robert Livingston was his manager. And I was at Big Yard Studio, which was their studio. So I think Shane probably let him hear what I was working on. And then I had a song with Shaggy. And then after having a song with Shaggy, then Lord Pusha T in France decided he's going to put out his version of the song with me and Shaggy, and put it as a title track on his record called Move Inside.
Okay.
So that kind of have two different spins, one called Move Inside and one called It Feels Right.
Yeah.
And all they did was shout my name out, and it's like, Keishera.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that in itself was great, but I didn't have management. The story of my, early life, no management. And after that, I did Cry No More with Christopher Birch. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really want to be on a lot of rhythms, because I didn't want to be known as the rhythm girl.
Yeah.
At least people from VP Records and stuff, they were trying to give me an administrative deal. I'm not going to talk ill of anything, but a lot of people that worked there was like, I don't know if you should do that. So I kind of got swayed as into not going that direction at that time. And I kind of came back to New York, and I went back to school.
Okay.
Because my friend wasn't working for VP anymore. It's just like, there's a lot of stop and starts.
Yeah.
And I never really had like a strong base of people that I was working with. I think that was my little issue. So it was like, I had dabbles,
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I think I can do this.
Okay.
So I came back to school. I was doing that, and I was writing, doing certain stuff, and then I moved to Germany.
Right. So,
seemed drastic, right?
yeah, right. So from Jamaica to New York,
So
and then
I lived in London, I lived in Paris, and then Germany.
okay. So you definitely have traveled the world.
Yeah, I've been a lot of places around this world. Yeah, I
So
even did
what
Art Basel, in Basel in Switzerland with
okay.
my voice for a very wonderful artist called Oti
Hmm.
Nyanga.
Yeah,
I was the voice of her stuff, which was widely publicized, which was great. So I
yeah,
got a little, in the
yeah.
papers for that. Yeah,
So what made you decide to go to Switzerland, not Switzerland, sorry, Germany?
right. I felt like I've always had a connection as a child with Germany for some reason. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a kindred spirit or something of the
Yeah.
sort. Um, but I've always had this reoccurring dream of me being, I don't know if it was like someplace far off in Germany. I don't know if it's like my past life. I don't know what it is.
Mm.
But I've always wanted to go to Germany because even when I was living in Paris years back in 2000, I had tickets to go to Germany and I never did. I
Yeah.
was, I was with Best Woman modeling in Paris and I just, I didn't end up going to Germany. So when this time came and I said, I'm going to go to Germany, I had a friend in the same house that I'm living in. My best friend lives downstairs and she was
Mm.
Airbnb and someone came from Germany and we just
Mm.
kind of like hit it off. And I was like, oh, Germans are really nice.
Yeah.
And I had a few friends also that I've known. I had a best friend that was from Germany, that's a photographer.
Yeah.
And I had another friend, Kian, what's his name? Kian, oh God, Kian. I'm gonna mess his name up. I don't want to say it.
It begins with
Kaini.
K.
Kaini, right.
Right.
Kaini's a reggae artist and he was going back and forth to Germany
Mm.
doing shows. And I was like, they like reggae music in Germany? They like black people in Germany?
Mm.
And he was like, yeah, they love music. They just love music in Germany. And I was like, huh, I bought the ticket.
Okay.
People thought I had a show.
Mm.
They thought I had things figured out. I didn't. But
You
I knew,
Mm.
I just felt like I should go.
Yeah.
So I had one name, and that's a friend of a friend. I
Yeah.
got his name. I didn't end up even calling him until like 2 weeks after being there because I went to Germany and I saw everybody on bicycles and the air was so fresh and I was like, oh,
You liked it. Yeah.
great. This is great.
Yeah.
And I just started going to different music venues. I've kind of looked up what music venues there was. And I was very presumptuous. See, after the people are performing, I go up and go to the. Can I say?
Okay.
And they were looking at me like I was weird. And then
Mm.
I'm using people's band. Yeah, just can you follow? And they're looking at me like, and then when they couldn't follow, I said it's okay. Everybody just snapped their hands. And
Yeah.
I just started belting out a tune, and everyone was standing ovation and clapping. And then someone saw me from there, booked me for something. Can I get you in? Found me on Facebook. Someone contacted me for something else, and it just kind of went like that.
Yeah.
And then people started hearing about me, and I just started booking shows.
Wow. So how long were you in Germany for?
Since 2010,
Okay.
on and off till now. I mean, of course, this year I've been here, but I stayed there straight for like I would say like maybe 5-6 years on and off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would spend more time there, but I would come back for like, say, 2 months.
Yeah.
And then I would go to Jamaica. So saying I'm going to Jamaica for a month, I end up spending 8 months. And then going back and spending a year and a half in Germany. And then come back
Okay.
spending a month here. Then go back spending another year. It was kind of like that. Like
Okay.
it became my second home.
All
Yeah, I
right.
love Germany. I love Berlin, to be exact.
Okay, so
And now I'm
gonna
like
ask,
I'm a Brooklyn Berlin girl.
yeah, because I was going to ask you which is your favorite country, but you've said it now. You love Germany. Germany's your favorite, would you say?
I wouldn't say Germany is my favorite. I love their appreciation for music,
Okay.
for the arts.
Yeah.
I find that they're open-minded,
Hmm.
and as long as you're good, you could gain fans.
Yeah.
I've done a few festivals. They're interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
New York is everybody's a star here.
Mm.
And I guess I perform so much in New York that I don't even perform that much here anymore.
Yeah.
You know, um, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then now that there's a pandemic, I'm just like, I'm definitely not,
Yeah.
not performing
Yeah.
as much, But I was always performing in New York, and I just I felt like I wanted more,
Yeah.
you know. So I just love their openness to new music and independent arts, and
Yeah.
just you can really exercise your voice. And I've gained some amazing friends and partners in music in Germany, Yeah.
So, what is it like over there right now with the pandemic? What's it like in New York?
Oh, New York is good right now. Praise God.
Okay.
In March, however,
Yes, I
it
remember.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're like one of the only cities. Maybe there's like two cities that's not going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock on wood because I
Yeah.
hope to keep it that way. But we're good, and I mean, you don't really see many people walking around without a mask here.
Yeah.
I think we lost so many people.
Yes, I know. It was.
I've lost a best friend. I've lost other people, and it's kind of like you don't want to experience that again. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, people are very insular. There's some people, of course, that there's in everywhere. There's people that's always going to break the rules,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So there's some people they're partying, but I haven't. Like I've been out, and it's always been open. And when I go someplace where it's insular, you should see me often in a mask, like
Yeah. Yeah.
because I just don't want to go through that again. I have a mom. My mom is 60, and even though she's not old, but we both had COVID in March.
Oh wow.
It is not cute.
Yeah.
And I don't want it again.
No.
I don't know about this immunity. I don't know. I don't like it. I thought I was going to die. I don't want to experience that again.
No.
So I'm very, to my friends and people that I don't really know, I don't really want to be around them because I don't know what your practices are.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
I make you right. Yeah, what's why put yourself at risk for what reason? It's not necessary. Yeah.
Beautiful girl, you're a beautiful, beautiful girl. It's hard for women nowadays to find a good man in her life, and it's so sad. You give him everything, but he treats you like you don't mean a thing. Why would you stay? Why would you stick by his side? Give him your heart, but he doesn't reply. He takes your best and only returns to stress. Why would you settle for less? Girl, you're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl. Don't let them